When I was 17, there was this kid in my life, and his name was Ben Bradley. And let me tell you, I wanted to cancel Ben so bad. I thought he was a jerk. I didn't like him because it seemed like all the girls wanted to be with him and none of them wanted to be with me, and I hated him. Maybe hate's a strong word, but I really wanted to cancel him and get him out of my life. Fast forward to when I was 23 years old. I was sitting in a college service, and the pastor said that if there's someone in your life that you need to forgive, you need to do it tonight. And as I was sitting in that service, I began praying, Lord, do you want me to forgive somebody? Is there someone I need to forgive in my life? And immediately, I felt like God told me to turn around. I turned around, wouldn't you know it, standing right behind me was Ben Bradley. And immediately I was like, no, Lord, I can't. I'll do something else. And I began trying to raise my hands and pretend like I was going to praise God. But he said, no, you're not obeying me until you choose to forgive Ben. And so I ended up turning around, having a conversation with Ben, and we ended up going off. And this was what's crazy. We began talking, and I began sharing with him, hey, this was my heart back then, and now I realize I was wrong, and I need to forgive you for some things, but I need to ask for your forgiveness. And the craziest part is he, in turn, ended up telling me, hey, for some of the same reasons, I didn't necessarily respect you, and I need to ask for your forgiveness. And as a result, that relationship was repaired. Here's the point. In this world where we're asked to just cancel people, when people make mistakes, get them out of your life. When someone gets you in the back, cancel them. When a company cuts a corner, cancel them. When someone does something that you don't completely agree with, cancel them, mute them, get rid of them. Is this the biblical philosophy behind relationships? When people mess up, should you just cut them out of your life? Now, once again, there's a hint of truth in this. There is an area in our lives where, yes, you need to eliminate people who are going to be a bad influence on you, as well as eliminate people who are going to cause you to make poor choices. But yet the Bible gives clear instruction about how you should do that. In Matthew chapter 18, Jesus gives clear instruction as far as how we should handle relationships where someone has messed up against us. He says, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. When someone does something that deserves for them to be canceled, Jesus says, hey, you go to that brother and you talk to him. Don't go to social media and tell the entire world about the mistake they've made. You go directly to your brother. You confront him. You talk to him. And notice what it says. If he listens to you, you've gained a brother. You see, the key thing here is that when we confront somebody, the goal is to restore that relationship. We don't want to push away relationships. We want to restore them, redeem them, reconcile broken relationships, and bring us together. You see, this is a huge thing, especially in Christian circles. Some people, when it comes to the issue of how we should deal with culture, have different opinions. And there's three things that I don't think we should do as Christians. The first thing I don't think we should do is fight against culture. We contribute to the culture. So if we fight the culture, we're only fighting ourselves. The second thing that we shouldn't do with culture is that we shouldn't just seek to change culture. That's another big idea, that we should just change things. We should just Christianize things. We should just, if we hear a song that we don't like, well, we'll just take out the bad words, we'll change the song, and all of a sudden, it's a good song. But that's not our calling. Our call is not to just change culture. And the last thing is that we're not called to run away from culture. We're not told to hide from culture. There's a conversation going on in the public spectrum, and we need to contribute to that conversation. I believe as Christians, what Jesus is calling us to do is we're called to engage culture and redeem culture. And the way that we redeem is by having conversations, confronting people when they're in the wrong. I want to show you how Jesus confronted someone with the purpose of redeeming that person. In Luke 19, there's a story about Jesus and Zacchaeus, and here's how it goes. He, being Jesus, entered Jericho and passing through. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, and he was the chief tax collector and was rich. And he was seeking to see who Jesus was. But on account of the crowd, he could not, because he was small in stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up in a sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. Now, Zacchaeus was a terrible person. In fact, he deserved to be canceled. He was a tax collector, which means he was stealing from people, he was extorting people, and as a Jewish tax collector, he was extorting his own people. He was stabbing his own people in the back, and people hated him for it. They wanted to cancel him. But he hears that there's this guy named Jesus, and he wants to go see him and check out how Jesus responds when he meets this guy who's been extorting his own people. Jump down to verse 5. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, you hurry down and come down, for I must stay at your house today. Jump down to verse 7. And when they saw it, they grumbled. He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. The people couldn't believe it. Why in the world would Jesus, God's Son, have dinner, go into the house of this sinner, this man that no one should have anything to do with? But check out the result of Jesus confronting Zacchaeus about his actions. In verse 8 it says, And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold. And Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to his house, since he is also of the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. You see, Jesus had a heart to go after Zacchaeus. He knew Zacchaeus had messed up. He knew Zacchaeus had done wrong things, and he knew Zacchaeus justly deserved to be canceled and eliminated. And yet, he, in love, confronted him. He went to him. He told him, hey, this is how you're messing up. And as a result, it says that Zacchaeus ended up getting saved. He turned his life around because someone lovingly confronted him. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do. Before you cancel somebody, choose to lovingly confront them. Go directly to them. Don't go to social media and tell the entire world how they messed up. Go directly to them. In love, confront them. And in the end, you may still win a brother. Hey guys, I hope you found that this was helpful and that this is encouraging to you, as well as helping you understand, hey, how do we engage the culture around us and how do we live as Christians in this world? Something that's really exciting that we posted on social media earlier today and you got an email about is the fact that we are coming back on Wednesday nights, August the 26th. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. Man, we're going to be having worship in person. We'll be gathering together. We'll be teaching. I can't wait for you guys to walk through the doors and we will socially distant, welcome one another, and be able to hang out. So I hope you'll join us on August the 26th at 7 p.m. Tell your friends. It's going to be awesome.